It's time to fire this thing up.
Welcome aboard ShipShape TV Essentials. This is your port of call for the most impactful upgrades, expert advice, and hands-on solutions from seasons past. This episode is proudly brought to you by Surehold, because anything worth doing is worth doing bright. From cleaning to protecting and perfecting, Surehold has everything you need to keep your boat shining. Don't just go boating, go showboating. Now, let's hoist anchor and set a course for another exciting episode of ShipShape TV Essentials.
If boating's your game, then you'll agree. ShipShape is the way to be. Out on the lake or on the sea, ShipShape means trouble-free. ShipShape means being neater. ShipShape makes boat work easier. ShipShape is the way to go. The ShipShape Boat Care Show.
ShipShape is being brought to you in part by the Marine Industries Association of Palm Beach County, Boating, the Lifestyle of Palm Beach County, and by Stella Marine, a crest above the rest, and by Ocean Marine, manufacturers of worldwide excellence in marine air conditioning.
Welcome to ShipShape, the Boat Improvement Show. I'm your host, John Graviscus, and this is my partner, the really cool boatman himself, Bert Dell.
Howdy, folks.
We're on location today at Northside Marina in Stuart, Florida, and today's show is probably the coolest topic we're ever going to cover, the installation of marine air conditioning in a 29-foot Luhrs.
This is a topic we felt needed to be covered.
Because of Florida's high heat and humidity, air conditioning is a must if you have a boat with a cuddy cabin. And don't forget, if we use one of your suggestions on the show, you're going to receive one of these official ShipShape t-shirts.
John, turn around and show them what an extra large looks like. Thanks, pal.
And as always, if you have a project suggestion that you'd like us to cover, please write us a letter or send us a fax.
Write your project suggestions to ShipShape, the TV show. Attention Project Director, Post Office Box 31561, Palm Beach Gardens, Florida 33420. Or fax us at area code 407-626-4348.
With me today is Mark Bergerman, the service manager at Ocean Marine Air Conditioning. Mark, welcome to ShipShape.
Nice to have you here, John.
Now today we're going to be installing air conditioning on what size boat?
29-foot Luhrs tournament.
Okay. And are there several options of air conditioning to go in this particular vessel?
We're going with a 9,000 BTU self-contained unit. Also, alternately, we can go with a 6,500 BTU unit.
For those at home that don't understand what a BTU is, Mark, could you kind of explain that?
BTU is basically how they size air conditioning. Basically, it's how much air you turn over in a certain size area per hour.
Okay, now I'm familiar with tons. How does a BTU convert into a ton?
12,000 BTUs equals 1 ton.
Okay, fantastic. Now, what's the difference between air conditioning at home, say central air, and marine air conditioning?
Marine air conditioning is water-cooled. Home air conditioning is generally air-cooled.
What's more efficient?
Water-cooled.
Okay, so the water is actually taken from the ocean, circulates through, cools the machine down. That's what you're using to use it?
Cools the condenser
versus
down.
air. Fantastic, fantastic. Now, you were mentioning something about this particular unit being a self-contained unit. What does that mean?
The self-contained unit is packaged together as a condensing section, evaporator section on one chassis. Or a split system, your evaporator section would be on one end, where you'd split across with a pipe line set, and you'd have an evaporator in another area. Typically houses are split systems.
Okay, so because of room in a boat being at a premium, is that why we've decided to go ahead and go with the self-contained unit?
Yes, we're fortunate to have a very large locker space down in the stateroom there that we're able to fit the self-contained unit in. So it makes a nice, fast installation.
Fantastic. Price-wise, between the 6,500 BTU and the 9,000 BTU, what are we talking about here?
You're looking about $200.
Okay. And efficiency, does the 6,500 BTU work any harder than the 9,000
Yes,
BTU?
it would. You have longer run times.
Right.
as opposed to 9,000. During the heat of the day when the sun's beating down on the cabin, you might not be able to get the cabin down to your desired temperature. The 9,000, you should be able to get there.
Okay. So with the consideration of it being 6,500 BTUs, it's going to work harder. It's probably going to have a shorter life.
Yeah, it'll have more hours on it.
Okay. So the price really isn't a factor when you're
No,
talking about
not at
something
all.
like that. Are there any special parts that we need for today's job?
We're gonna need a sea strainer, some intake water line. That's about it.
Okay.
Some clamps.
How about if we do this? I'll go on over and speak with Rick Weiler over at the service yard here at Northside Marina. You and Bert go ahead and get set up with today's project. I'll come back. We'll get
Sounds
started.
good. Terrific.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Hey, Rick. How are you doing?
Okay, John, how are you today?
Good. Good to see you.
What you working on?
We're working on a Luhrs 29-foot. We're putting in some marine air conditioning, and Mark tells me that you're now an Ocean Marine sales and service operator.
Yes, we are. And I was speaking with Mark earlier, and he mentioned to me that you were going to need an internal strainer.
That's right.
We had put the seacock in the boat earlier, but we didn't put an internal strainer. And what we have here is a Seawater internal strainer. This is a 3/4 inch strainer, and that the hose being used is a 3/4 inch pipe thread. This strainer is in line between the seacock and the pump, and its primary function is to strain out any large particles in the water which would foul the pump and cause the unit to shut down.
Like we have seaweed and you know,
Absolutely,
all of that.
so
Great.
barnacles, sand, etc. The beauty of this strainer is that it can be cleaned out very easily by shutting off your seacock, because once this lid's open, and the seacock were open, you would take water on board.
Right.
You pull the strainer out. You can put it in a small bucket so you don't drip all the mud and etc. out of
Right.
it. Take it up to the dock, wash it out, and reinstall it. Once you have this set in there properly, you recap it.
So this is a pretty necessary part.
Yes, it is, absolutely, yes. In fact, Ocean Marine, it is mandatory in Ocean Marine installations to have an internal strainer between the seacock and the pump. After you have the basket back in, you can open up the seacock, you can bleed the internal strainer so that the pump can regain its prime. It's very
Okay.
important. And you're back in business.
Fantastic. What kind of hose are we going to be putting in here?
Okay, the hose that we use is a Shieldflex, and it's a wire inserted hose, and you can see that it has a laminate of cloth sewn, or I would say it's vulcanized inside the hose.
Okay.
We use double clamps below the waterline so that you have 2 hose clamps, and you notice that these are a barb fitting.
Right.
Okay, they're set in with Teflon, and it offers years of service, and the internal strainer is also connected to the bond system of the boat, which has sacrificial zincs to stop any heavy corrosion of the metals.
Fantastic. Well, I know quite a few things are going on here at Northside Marina. Can you kind of elaborate on that a little bit?
Yes, the service yard's primary objective is to service and rig the new boats sold by the Northside Marine Sales. And as you know, we're a post dealer,
Right.
Blackfin, Bertram, Luhrs, and Stannis.
Great.
Our customers can come in, they can fill out a complete work order. I have a staff of 8 people, and we will rig the boats from towers to electronics, underwater work. We also, about 40% of our business is bottom jobs, outside work. So if you own a boat, you could call Northside and ask for an estimate for bottom jobs or hull waxing or electronics installation, and we can accommodate your needs.
Fantastic. Well, I noticed that you have a new lift out there. How many ton vessel will that accommodate?
Well, we have 2 lifts here now. We have an Acme 50-ton, and then our most recent purchase is the Acme 75, which enables us to get the larger vessels 75 tons and down out of the water safely.
Fantastic. Well, Rick, thanks again for being on Shipshape.
Okay,
I've
thank
got to
you.
get back to the boat.
Okay, have a good day.
Stay on course. Shipshape will be right back.
Give your prized items a better-than-new look with SureHold Buff Magic. This buffing compound works as a metal polish and rubbing compound for your boat, car, and other home equipment. Buff Magic is specifically formulated to remove oxidation and surface defects, restore that quality showroom shine, and provide a deep, rich finish in one easy step. Proudly made in the USA, SureHold Buff Magic is the ultimate restoration compound. SureHold,
clean and simple.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Great. Did Rick take care of you?
He sure did.
Great.
Let's head on down and see what you guys have been up to.
Let's go. Hey, while John was up there at Rick getting those parts, I already laid out where we're going to put the air conditioning equipment. The 9,000 BTU unit's going to fit down here on that shelf. I'm going to run a 5-inch duct up around the back of that refrigerator. So, Bert, why don't you go ahead and pull that refrigerator?
Okay. Okay, Mark, I got the screws out of the refrigerator.
All right, let's go ahead and slide it out.
All right.
Let's see if I can give you a hand here. Kind of support it on the bottom.
Okay, I got it.
Gotta turn it
Okay.
and drop it down. Should be plenty of wire back there to move this around.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, now we're gonna have to get in there and mark some holes out and cut them out.
All right.
Okay, Bert, what we're gonna do now is we're gonna mark out for the control here. It's a 4.5 by 2.5 inch cutout. So we're gonna get this here square level. Make sure there's nothing in the way in the back where we're gonna make our lines for our cut. We got 4.5 inches, 2.5 inches here. We got 4.5 inches over here. We'll just line up a 4.5, 2.5 inch, and it comes out square.
So this is just going to be a control panel. It's just going to mount flush right on the
It's a
side
flush
of where
mount
the
control.
refrigerator goes.
Yep,
Make easy access.
real easy. Then when we get it in, all we do is run our wire down the chase back there, and it comes right out by the machine.
Great.
Real nice, simple install. Now we have our supply air grill, which we're gonna do. I'll have to have you pull down this light fixture here so I can see where we're gonna make our cutout, make sure we're not gonna hit any wires. So why don't you go ahead and take the drill and unscrew this light.
Okay, let me drop that light down out of the way.
There we go. Now we can see up in there where if there's any wires crossing any overhead, so we don't interfere with them, which there are a bundle of wires up here.
Good thing we found
So
them.
we gotta be careful of. We're gonna center.
Okay, do you want me to pull those wires out of the way, or?
I'm gonna make the cutout now, and I'm gonna make the drawing of the cutout, and then once I start cutting, we'll tie these wires back out of the
Oh,
way.
okay, all right.
We gotta make sure we don't hit any stringers again or any type of framing up in here, but it's well open up in there.
Okay.
We got a 10 by 6 supply air register to go in the ceiling there, so we're gonna make the cutout 10 by 6, but we gotta keep in mind it's a 1-inch lip. So when we line up to where the light fixture was, we gotta make sure when we make our lines, it's 1 inch over.
Okay.
So I use this guide. This is already 1 inch, and this is about center. We want to try to center this up as good as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now we're going to drill some pilot holes in this cutout here. You want to
All
go
right.
ahead and drill?
Sure, I'll drill.
Let me hold back the wires in there.
Tell me when you're ready.
Go ahead. I'll go right over this one here. Drill the corners out on that one. I'm gonna go ahead and start cutting these out there.
All
Take
right.
a break for a minute. Gets a little warm. Be nice when we have this air conditioning going.
Yeah, it will.
Okay, did good. Missed all the wires. All right, now we're gonna get ready to run the duct around the back there. Try to wiggle it down here.
Got it.
Okay. All right, that's good. Okay, we got 10 feet of communication cable and sensor bulb here. What we have to do is send it down where the duct went down. I'll just push it down there. Pull it through. Okay, we're going to pre-drill this because the gel coating on here can crack very easily when you're setting it self-tapping, and so we're going to pre-drill the holes. Go right ahead there. Just be careful not to hit the control.
All right.
The drill. Now we're going to set this supply air register in. I'll hold it up. You can pre-drill the holes and the screws are right there on the counter.
Okay, Mark. Where you want it?
Right there. Okay. Oh, let's go out and back and we'll get the unit, solder in there.
Okay.
So we have 6 feet of cable on here so you can put it off to the side if you don't have enough height. Fits perfect. And now we're gonna have to start cutting some holes and running some hose to it from the seawater pump. We already got the seawater pump and the sea strainer pre-mounted.
Okay.
We got that done already. Okay, Bert, we're all set. We got the unit in place. We got all the wires tied in. Our seawater parts are all in. It's all wired up. We can give it a try.
Okay, let me turn it on.
Nice and cold.
Yeah, it's blowing out cold air right
Nice
now.
to have this cold air so we can finish putting all the trim back in.
Yeah.
Cleaning up.
I don't want to sweat to death in here.
All
Well,
right.
Mark, thanks for being on the show.
Thanks for being here.
All right,
Thank
see
you.
ya.
Don't float away. Shipshape will be right back.
Hi, I'm Barry Burhoff with Surehold Industries. Look at this guy and all the stuff he needs to maintain his boat. I guarantee you he'll be tripping on that all day long. Forget that nonsense. Use the Surehold family of products featuring the one handle that does it all. Surehold has over 40 different quality attachments that easily locks into place. Deck brushes, mops, squeegees, scrubbers, paddles, boat hooks, and even a camera adapter. Whether it's for your car, truck, RV, or boat, keep it clean and simple with Surehold products.
We're on location today at Stella Marine in Palm Beach Gardens. And with me again is Bob Stella, the owner of Stella Marine. Bob, again, welcome to Shipshape.
Hi, John. How you doing?
We're going to take a look at what boat here, Bob?
This is the 40 Regal Sport Yacht. Great boat. A lot to talk
Fantastic.
about.
I noticed the integrated transom.
This makes it great. You got a great integrated transom for diving. You can even fish in the boat, although it's a sport cruiser. Lots of storage in the access. The hatches open up.
Real nice. Well, here we are at the helm, Bob, and I get the feeling like I'm in a Mercedes or a Lexus. This is quite a dash setup for this particular boat. Elaborate a little bit.
Well, it's a cut above. What you've got here is your burrow wood, just like you're leaving your Lexus or your Mercedes or your Woodpin or any of the automobiles of today, the newer ones.
That is sharp.
And very up-to-date styling.
Okay, and what kind of electronics do we have down here?
This particular boat has a chat link, which is really neat.
Okay.
You can throw a cartridge in there and you can see where you are.
Right.
Sauverall Harbor and where we're headed, up the coast or down the coast.
Neat.
Over here is your GPS, which acts as your video depth GPS finder.
Right, right.
And of course we have an autopilot, which is remote. Take this and you can walk around the boat.
Hey,
Has a
that
long
is
cord,
nice.
and you want to go left, you press a button. You want to go right, you press a button. It's really neat.
Bob, the first thing that I noticed when I walked into this room is the walls and how much detail is spent on them. The quality that has gone into this Regal, these are cushiony walls. What's the purpose of that?
Well, eye appeal number one. The padding acts as an insulator, and it also keeps the noise factor down.
It's very quiet in here.
Very quiet.
Very, very enjoyable.
Yeah.
Now, what's with this this kitchen area?
Well, the galley in this boat is really, really done well. Good headroom. I mean, there's 6'6", 6'7" headroom all the way in the forward cabin.
That's great.
Along with a large opening port window.
Okay.
So you don't have that claustrophobic feeling. It's wide open, very eerie.
Well, Bob, the cabin of this boat is beautiful, but you know what I want to take a look at. Let's go look at the engines.
Okay.
Come on. Now, Bob, all we had to do was move the carpet out, and boom, we can lift this up and take a look at the engines.
Right.
What's she powered by?
This has 315 Cummins diesels.
Nice.
Real sweet boat, sweet running. Very economical.
Fantastic. Can I jump down in it?
Jump right down. You
Cool.
notice it's got a steel grid in the floor?
Yeah, that's nice. Real nice feature. You know, this is kind of what I'm into. What kind of range are we talking about in this boat?
We're talking about a 15, 16-hour range, cruising around 25, 27.
What do they burn?
She'll burn, at that point, probably 14 to 16 gallons an hour.
Okay.
You know? She'll
Well-
top around 35 miles an hour.
Fantastic. What will this boat draft in?
This boat drafts about 2 feet 9.
Fantastic. Very, very nice. Now, what size generator do we have back here?
That's a 8 kilowatt Westerbeek we have back there.
Nice. Well, Bob, this Regal is really powered to cruise.
Well, it sure is. The individual that wants to buy this is the cut above. You know, you get into a boat this size, you really don't want gasoline engines.
Right.
For your best investment, for your best resale value, diesels are really the way to go.
Where can people preview this boat?
This is right here at Sauverall Harbor at our dealership.
Fantastic.
Marine.
Fantastic. Well, again, Bob, thanks for being on ShipShape.
Okay.
Until next time. From Northside Marina in Stewart, Florida, thanks for watching ShipShape. I hope you enjoyed the show.
And be sure to tune in next week.
Because the projects keep getting bigger and better.
If boating's your game, then you'll agree. Ship shape is the way to be. Out on the lake or on the sea, ship shape means trouble free. Ship shape means being neater. Ship shape makes boat work easier. Ship shape is the way to go. The Ship Shape Boat Care Show.